la fila fioshu, alanga la fila fuyeye, alanga la ferrekayere, oshunga la fila fuyeye, alanga la fila fioshu, alanga la fila fuyeye, alanga la ferrekayere, oshunga la fila fuyeye.
Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Ninti's Heart Chakra. This particular, this is an extension of my spiritual advising is on Queendom Tarot. So I don't know if you came through that way, but this is for my life coaching. This is dealing with just emotional healing. This particular series is based on family healing, and this one is for the mother and son. I've been pushed to get this out here basically before Mother's Day, these two particular ones. So this is a little different, as mothers of sons know. I mean, this is our counterpart. This is not like the mother and daughter. There's a lot of similarities there. This is different. The needs are different. This is, so I know I'm going to really have to sink in and try to take my time with this one, because it is, it's different. It's different than the mother and daughter. The mother and daughter, I don't know mothers, you may be watching both. I have a daughter and a son, so, these apply to me both. Two things I want to mention. First, these are generals. The things that I explain and I go through here are general. I know every situation is different, and there are definitely other things that come into play. And a lot of times people have the opposite effect, what I'm saying, when things happen to them. A person that doesn't have a father and mother in their life may become the best father and mother, you see what I'm saying, in the world. So this is general, okay? Secondly, well, not in this particular one, but, mother, you're watching it as the mother, and son, you're watching it as the son. But mother and daughter was a little different because you could play both roles. But anyway, here we go with the mother and son, okay? We're going to begin with a prayer. This is a prayer of healing. First and foremost, this is going to be your rock. This is your foundation. You're a child of the Most High first. So this is the energy that we're going to pull on at the very beginning, okay? It's going to assist you. This has been my foundation throughout my family healing, okay? So let me read the prayer. O Most High, you are my sustainer. You are my parent. I am your child. I seek refuge in you from my own disagreeable deeds. I acknowledge your favors to me, and I acknowledge my disagreeable acts. Forgive my disagreeableness, for there is no one and no place I'd rather be than with you. Please take my pain and restore my soul. Amen. Ashe, so be it. Okay, let me also take at this time, I don't know if you heard me mention, I'm not, particular religion. I was told that is not what I should do as far as what I'm here to do. I'm here for everyone, so I can't limit myself by that. I'm a true child of the Most High. I'm a true child of oneness, so I'm for everyone. No, regardless of the name you call God, the book you use, the path you use, we all have a heart. We all have experienced pain. So whenever I refer to God or whatever, take that in your way on whatever path you're on, okay? All right, let's get into this. All right, the first thing I want to take a look at, or we want to talk about, is the desire of the relationship, the mother and son relationship. The desire for the mother is for this to be her little man, basically. Without a father figure in place, this can actually turn into codependency. So this desire can easily turn in the absence of a father if not held and dealt with properly, okay? The son is to protect the mother in the absence of the father. And this can also change. If there's no father is there, it becomes I am dad. As they get older, it becomes I am dad. And they usually, they get to a state to where they feel like they know more than mom, and they become physically stronger. You know what I'm saying? So this is where things sort of kind of get a little, it can get a little tense between a mother and son relationship. The only thing that really keeps it in check is a father figure. If there's no father figure in place, things can get very out of hand and very disrespectful. And because once that mind state turns to, I'm your dad, and it turns to, I know more than you. If there's no dad in place to keep that authority, this usually turns bad. It usually turns pretty rough in the teenage years at this time. Okay, so that's where a lot of issues may begin to develop. Okay, all right. The next thing we're going to look at is the most critical factors of the relationship. It's a little different than the daughters. I felt with daughters it was pretty simple, and I think because there are so many similarities, with a daughter, if you just, basically if you get that faith, that trust, a lot of these other things just come into play. But since we're dealing with a different, entity, we're dealing with different energy, a masculine energy, there's more needs, there's different needs with that energy. Okay, the first thing is comfort. They're definitely looking to their mother for comfort. If they're sick, if they're not feeling well, I'm just happen to be going through that now. I'm going through all of this. God has put me down here with my mother, my son, and my father. And I just left being with my daughter. So I've had a lot of just being in the midst and dealing with this stuff, just being in the midst of it and picking up on just a lot of stuff, along with just things that I've already picked up on. But comfort, my son not feeling well this morning. So immediately he came to me for comfort, and telling me, he's not this and this and that. So I had to go into mommy mode and healer mode and start dragging out stuff and massaging and, I went into full-fledged nurse doctor mode. That's what they look to us for. They look to us for comfort. They want us to make them feel better. Okay? That is critical. All right? Respect. Like I said, the respect can be gained a lot easier if there is a father figure to hold down that authority. If not, this respect factor is very tough. But if you do the other things, I think respect will just naturally come, just in how you treat them. Okay? Reassurance. That's also something, me and my son, we talked about, that's, and it just sort of kind of happened naturally. I walked in his room and we were just talking and we both were just like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And that's what, sons want. They need that from their mom. They need, that's why it's so important if your son is in sports and all that stuff, you being there, that's reassuring, whatever they come up with, and he showed me a clip last night of Steve Harvey talking about, how his dad gave him so much faith, so it came through his dad. But mom, we have to be there too, to reassure our children that no matter what crazy idea they have, I've never, my son can come up with he's an Aquarian, so he can come up with some far out shit. But I never make him feel any way about it. He has been his complete individual person, and I give him the strength to do that and reassure him that, that is okay. That you don't have to like today's music. That it's okay if you like rock music. It's okay if you like what you like. It's okay. Do you? That kind of reassurance in our children is important. Never making them feel that there is anything wrong with who they are. Okay? All right. Independence. Critical. Critical. Okay? You definitely want, I've seen mothers, this is a big place that mothers mess up in the independence role. Okay? I'm going to give you the example of my mom, and I'm going to give you an example of me, because I was like, hell no, I'm not doing that to my son. Okay, my mom, she will wash, just coming up, she would continue to wash my brother's clothes. My brother would have a plate left in the microwave. He continued to live with them. And that has gone on into 30s. The plate being left in the microwave. And he still isn't married. And it's still a level of codependency. He's now 39 years old, and she's still handling a lot of his business. Okay. On the other hand, me, I made it my priority. I stopped washing my children's clothes at probably 14, 15. It's yours now, boo-boo. It's your responsibility, okay? Food. I made sure my son knew how to fix breakfast. He could make something for lunch, and he could make something for dinner. So he never had to wait on a female to cook him anything to eat, okay? So he cooks a damn good breakfast, pancakes, eggs, turkey bacon, and grit. Well, he can't do grits, but and oh my gosh, it's spaghetti. Everybody loves his spaghetti. He's 21. Okay. Absolute credit is better than mine. We're just gonna say that. Very responsible and independent. So I think I did a pretty good job. I think I did. It ain't perfect, but I think I did a pretty good job with those things. Yeah, so that stuff is important. It's important for mothers to teach their sons to be independent. You don't want them to be codependent. I know a lot of people who's got their sons jacked up because of this, not enforcing independence, and if you don't put this in there, they're probably going to be living with you for the rest of their lives. So just prepare for that, okay? All right. All right, that is that. All right. Now we have the three groups, okay? In the three groups, we have the people, the mothers that were able to achieve these factors, comfort, independence, reassurance, and respect. And then you have the group of parents, of mothers that were not, and then you have the group where the mother was absent, okay? Let me see, was there anything I wanted to say on this part? You pretty much know where you fall. I feel like, if you look at your situation, you know which group you fall in, and then you'll know like some of the challenges you may have as we go forward. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, a point my son made. He said, well, this is an Aquarian mind, okay? He said, well, maybe, some people may have achieved some and not achieved others. And that is true. So in some situations, you may have given that comfort. You may have given too much comfort to where it lacked in independence. So it can, like I said, this is general, okay? This is general. I can only, help you personally with a one-on-one session, and that's just to take a lot of other factors into play, to give you a true, honest, coaching for you. And that's what, I am here for. That's what I will be opening up here soon for, is to help coach people through the healing process, okay, of the challenges that came from some of these things, okay? All right, let's move on. Let's break down these three groups, okay? The first group is the mothers that were able to achieve these, achieve respect, reassurance, comfort, and independence, okay? What you will see in those men or sons, they will confide in their mother. They will be respectful and loving. They will be sensitive. Their feminine, masculine energy will be balanced, meaning they have a sensitive side. They don't have a problem, being a little emotional, and they're strong in their masculinity as well. They don't feel like we're not going to go there. They're independent, and they usually make great husbands, okay? These are the guys that are going to have their own place, bachelor pad, that kind of thing. Most, we'll get to that later, but yeah, these are going to be the guys that you find that have their own place. All right. me see if that's it on this. Yeah, let's move forward. All right, to the mothers that did not achieve those factors. These are the things and the challenges that the sons may have, okay? The son will be secretive and may live a double life. So, you know, that's where, you know, the lack of respect, you know, just not feeling comforted. You know, a son, you know, where it was just trust with a daughter, a son has to feel comfortable and comforted in order to be open. So if they don't feel comforted, they usually will be very secretive. And like I said, they could possibly live a double life. All right. They usually will be disrespectful and aggressive. And this is what I'm saying, particularly if there's no father figure or authority figure to keep that in place. That can get very out of hand. You know, and it can also be trying in the relationships of women that did achieve this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could get even testy in those because there's no father check, you know, and once they really start feeling, you know, their strength, it's even a challenge to the best of us that have done what, you know, the best we could and thought we did, you know, what we could. You know, like I said, that father figure is sort of kind of critical in keeping things in check. Low self-esteem, because that's that comfort and the lack of reassurance, you know. So with a lack of reassurance, they look for other people to reassure them. You know, they don't have any self-esteem within. You know, they look for the attention of others to reassure them that they're whatever. You know, that they're handsome, that they're smart, that they just look for a lot of external reassurance. It doesn't really come from within. And the codependency nature. Codependency, let's be clear about this. Codependency, like I said, is like a lot like my brother's energy. Of just needing my mom to do everything from doctor's appointments to banking stuff, to stuff for his kids, to the list goes on. Is what I'm saying. And that's the codependency you don't want, particularly when your child is 30. Okay. Also codependency, these probably are not you will probably not see these men living on their own. They'll probably be living with someone, because usually they can't be alone. They don't like to be alone. They have a problem being alone. That's that independence, lack of independence. So yeah, like I said, they can be very disrespectful and aggressive, you know, because, you know, that comforted, that soft, that sensitivity, they will lack, you know, some of that energy. Okay. Let's see. I think that's it on this one. And if the mother is absent, there is, you can see, and I like to say this. I don't like to look at any of this as like flaws or whatever. I look at this as challenges. These are challenges you may have to face based upon what you were born into, and these are things that need to be addressed and healed, you know, and looked at and healed and released. So these are challenges. Don't feel, you know, I don't want anybody feeling any type of way about these things. We're just dealing with the root. We're just dealing with the outcome, you know, things that can happen as a result of your mother not being there, and that's not your fault. Okay. All right. The lack of ability to nurture. Yeah, that is, you know, being emotionally cold, you know, being sort of kind of emotionally cold, emotionally distant. My grandfather was the best at this, at nurturing girls. Like, you have to have this level of softness. My grandfather was hard as all get out, but he would sit down and let us plan his hair and put bows in his head. But he was the outdoorsman. I mean, he killed, like any animal that invaded his property was dead. Like, You know, he was a complete outdoorsman, completely hard farmer, but he would come inside and let us plant his head and put bows in it. And that was a way of us building our bond. So I'm saying that to say he, obviously, his mother was there, you know, and he was able to develop the ability to nurture. And a lot of men whose mother are absent or were absent don't have that ability to do that, or it's a challenge. Okay, they can actually come off as emotionally cold. All right, lack of sensitivity. Again, you know, sort of kind of, this can come off as being overly aggressive. You know, a lot of your probably, domestic abusers are here, in this group, because they're overly aggressive against women, because they have this deep hatred for women, which is the next one, which comes across again as disrespect and being overly aggressive. Okay. The next one is rejection and abandonment issues. That definitely leads to controlling, trying to hold on, trying to make sure this person doesn't leave you, that the fear of rejection and abandonment really makes, can make men in this situation put a chokehold around the women in their lives. Okay. Lastly, fear, a lack of security, and codependency. And what came to me is this particular one. It manifests in many different ways, but one of the main things is the fear of loss. The fear of loving somebody too much or getting too close to someone because of fear of losing them. And that is, like I said again, the lack of security. Not being secure in the relationship. That it's secure and it's here forever. It's here for the long haul. That, it's a fear that it's not going to be here. It's going to be gone tomorrow, kind of thing. And like I said, again, the codependency. Codependency can come in so many ways, financial, emotional, mental, needing somebody to think for you, needing somebody to make decisions for you, needing to be around people physically. Yeah, it comes out in so many ways. But like I said, the only way to know and to look at this is to look at each individual situation. Okay? Okay, guys. I think that is it with the mother being absent. And then the shadow sides of the relationship, which we've talked about codependency a lot, because it's a big one for males and their moms. It's big. This is a big issue out here today. You have a lot of men staying with their moms. Way up in age. So, something happened. Okay? Something happened. These men were not taught to stand on their own. And that's got to be checked. That's got to be checked. And it starts with the mother. We got to take responsibility for it, y'all. We got to. It starts with us. We have to teach them independence. And it comes with tough love. Like I said, I stopped washing my kids' clothes at 14, 15. I'm like, no, that's on you. Because I wanted them to learn how to do that. My son. I made him cook breakfast. I made him fix lunch. I made him fix dinner. Because he had to learn. And I didn't want him to be dependent on anyone in order to eat a decent meal. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of things we have to teach our sons, to take care of this codependency thing on the shadow side. Okay? The manipulation. Ooh. I would say this is our counterpart. They learn this and they don't know this from a very early age. My son knew from a very early age how to persuade me. to get to do, and and most of the time it was to put my face in his hands and to rub my jaws and to they love to at a small age, that's their favorite thing, is to get up in mom's face and rub on mom and rub mom's neck and her face, and then they'll ask for that cookie, or then they'll ask for that whatever. So they know well how to manipulate mom. Okay? Know this. Okay? So, I'm saying, and we'll talk about what to do in those situations, but just know that you're open for manipulation, because they know you and they know how to finesse you. Used to make my daughter and my ex so upset, because they would just swear that my son had me wrapped around his pinky, and I'm like, what are y'all talking about? So beware, all right, of the shadow. All right, is that it? The shadow side. All right, now we're gonna go to the healing. This is what I'm here for. This is what I do. Is to take you through these stages of healing. Okay? The first stage is forgiveness. That's important. I don't know if you watched the inner child video, but I talked a lot about forgiveness. And the foundation of that is sort of kind of coming from a perspective of being empathetic and understand that most people did the best that they could. And a lot of times people made decisions that might have had a negative impact. They really did it from a place of love, and they really weren't coming from a bad place. So like I said, I definitely advise you to check that out. I go a little deeper in that as far as talking about forgiveness. I'll probably do some stuff later as well, go a little deeper. But the next step is acceptance. Then it's about accepting that person for who they are. My son, he is who he is. He is an Aquarian. He is a nerd. He is, that's the nerdy part of me. We sit and watch Discovery Channel together. We did that. That was our bonding. Was us sitting up watching the Discovery Channel, History Channel, Science something. So we're just two nerds. We connect in our brain, with our brain. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times that's how you have to connect with your son. You might have to do something that is really out of the norm, to connect. We bond in music too. So find where you bond. And learn to, accept, some of their things and open yourself to them. What else? All right, the next level is unconditional love. Unconditional love, number one, means I love you beyond condition. There's no condition or anything that's going to make me not love you. Okay? First of all. Second of all, it's coming from a place of, I love you because you're a child of the Most High. I love you because you're a spirit of God, and that you're here down here with me trying to figure this shit out. And you're here to help me, and I'm here to help you. We're all one. We're all connected. That's where the unconditional love, that's where we should strive to be. It's not because you're my son that I love you. It's not because you're my mom that I love you. My love for you is higher than that. Okay? It's a deeper love. Okay? That's where we're trying to get to. All right? The next is boundaries. Boundaries, there's always the need. That's where I said this manipulation and this codependency. That's where the boundaries come in. You have to set the boundaries and say, hey, unfortunately, not unfortunately, fortunately, I haven't really had to set. Well, yeah, it's coming up a boundary I'm about to have to set with my son. But it's not really major. You know what I'm saying? My son is not one of the most giving people. He's not. He's not your philanthropist. That's my daughter. That's the one that'll give you the shirt off her back. My son is, he likes nice things and he spends on his nice things, and he's not, like I said, he's not a philanthropist. And I try to work with him on that, of being more open, being more emotional. And I know that's a job sometimes mothers just seems like they're called, right? So I try to work with him on that and just try to help him better get in touch with his feminine side. Which he doesn't, it's just part of it's just the Aquarian in him. But anyway, boundaries. If they're manipulating you for money, either they're codependent on you for money, it's gonna come a time where you gotta cut them off. You're gonna have to say, look, I can't do this anymore for you. My mom's gonna have to soon, so I don't have to hear it. She's gonna have to soon tell my brother, look, you gotta take care of this yourself, or you gotta find somebody else to take care of this, because this is just too much for me to handle. Put the responsibility back on him. Put his responsibility and his stuff back in his hands. Okay, that's what you need to do, parents, with that codependency. The manipulation, like I said, if it means putting space between you, it means putting space between you. It means, I'll call you and check on you in a month or two. I mean, like, I just need some space right now. Like, I can't do you right now. I'm in that phase with my daughter. Boundaries, like, I can't do her right now. We sort of chatted on the phone indirectly, but it's the boundaries are up. Okay. The next step is rediscovery. After you have the boundaries up, boundaries usually teach people how they have to approach you, what they can bring to you, what you're willing to allow to come towards you. Once they learn, the rediscovery phase is sort of kind of like the relearning of a person. Me and my son are going through that right now. I think the boundaries that we had were not anything negative. It was just, he was down here going to college and I was up in Atlanta. So we just naturally sort of we're not around each other every day. So you have those boundaries too that are not forced boundaries. They just happen. So when you are away from each other, there is a need to rediscover, because you're not the same person. I'm not the same person that I was when my son moved to come down here. He's not the same person. So we have to rediscover each other from today. Okay? So that's a lot what the rediscovery phase is about. Also, before I close, this is what was brought to my attention after I completed the mother-daughter. I had to sort of kind of bring it in at the end. But dealing with people, this sort of kind of is an extension of the mother absent, dealing with a mother that has passed away. So being a part of that group, I know that grief is another element that is a part of that. But a lot of the healing is the same, of dealing with that, with your mother or son that has passed away. That grief healing process is pretty much the same. And it's forgiveness. A lot of time the forgiveness comes from the forgiveness of God. A lot of people are very bitter, when it comes to losing someone. And it does take that time to heal and go through this forgiveness process with God. The second step of accepting that this is the new reality, that this person is no longer on the physical plane, and accepting that, that person is transitioned, not saying any of this stuff is easy, but it's a process. The third step being unconditional love, knowing that love never dies, knowing that regardless if they're here or not, you still can love them and they still love you, And the boundaries is just the boundaries of that now they're not here in the physical, they're in the spiritual plane. And the rediscovery part of it is learning new ways to connect, learning new ways to communicate with them on the spiritual plane. And, that can come in various ways, through songs, through people approaching you, messages, billboards. I get messages all the time from the spiritual plane in various ways. Things being left, just smelling a fragrance. This happened to me yesterday. My grandmother, I've been thinking about my grandmother a lot. I went to Lowe's, and they had her name is Rose, and she loved roses. She had a big, nice rose bed, and they had these cute little miniature roses in a little teacup, and I just had to have one. I'm like, I gotta have that. But it was just my way of her, giving me something to connect with her. You know what I'm saying? I mean, those are the kind of things that I feel and experience in my life. And you can too if you open yourself to it and you discover that part. Okay? So it's about rediscovering and altars and candles. And, I'm very deep into ancestral worship. I mean, I'm very connected to my ancestors that have passed on. It's just a part of who I am. I feel remembering them is very important. Connecting with them is very important, So I'm not saying you have to go full-fledged, but lighting a candle in remembrance on their birthday, taking, some flowers out. I have to show y'all a picture of my grandmother, my grandfather's gravesite. Please believe. It had to be of the toppest order. Yes, it had to be of the toppest order. I had to have a bench so I can go out there and sit and talk. My aunt sent me a picture today showing me, Mother's Day tomorrow. So she done hooked it up with some balloons and some nice little, yeah, we do that with our loved ones here. We go hard. We go hard. I'm get you going, okay? We go hard with our loved ones that's passed over, So, I think this is it, guys. I hope and pray that you were able to take something from this that can lead to some type of healing, to leave you lighter. Like I said, I'll be opening up soon with one-on-one sessions if you want to go a little deeper, with some one-on-one healing with, mother, son, mother, daughter, whoever, however manifest. Definitely, please leave comments, send me emails. Please give me feedback, because that helps me determine how quickly I make this stuff available as well. How important the need is. I feel that the need is there, and God is telling me the need is there and that He wants me to get out here and do this. But without you guys letting me know, I really want to know. Okay. Please like, share, subscribe with anyone who has a son, or a mother, or a son who has a mother. And whatever they can take out of it. Okay? Peace and love to the family. Until next time.